god. Hello and welcome back to my channel. This week I'm going to go through some store cupboard essentials. I just thought I'd talk you through all the things that I have in my cupboard at all times, and if I've run out then I always make sure they're on the list to replace because they make food tastier. No, that's it, just tastier. I'll talk you through them now. Before I get into that, could I ask that you please subscribe to the channel? Simply because I'd like you to, but also because hopefully if you enjoy this video there'll be more of where that came from. Well, item number one, coming right up. Item number one, nutritional yeast. You may have heard this referred to as nooch. I normally call it nooch just because CBA, nutritional yeast is quite a long and involved thing to say. So it looks like this. It basically looks like fish food, like flakes. Nutritional yeast is something that I add to pretty much everything I make. When it's especially handy is if you're making like a mac and cheese or anything that you want to have that kind of umami, yeasty, cheesy flavour, this is your guy. There's not really a lot of times where it doesn't make sense to add nutritional yeast. This is the vegan food with the cheesy, nutty taste made from primary inactive yeast with B12. So this is fortified with B12. I'm always looking for ways to increase my B12 intake. So this is a really easy way to do it without having to supplement. This I pretty much put on everything that makes sense. Normally savoury food, but even like just on cereal, if I'm having yogurt and cereal, it makes sense to put it on there. I always sprinkle it on soups. Another thing that I really like it on is if I have avocado on toast or like hummus or corn cakes or whatever I'm having. It adds a really nice extra depth of flavour, so I just sprinkle it on everything. Really, really recommend. I have started to see these more and more in supermarkets now. If you can't find it in a normal supermarket, you will find it somewhere like Holland & Barrett or other health shops. Okay, number two. Number two is the humble chickpea tinned in water. So, you know when people ask where do you get your protein from? This guy, this is where I get my protein from. Obviously, I don't exclusively get my protein from chickpeas, but lentils, pulses, legumes, they're all really great sources of vegan plant protein. Per 100 grams, there is 7.2 grams of protein, and a tin of these, I think drained, is 240 grams. So that's already like, oh, hang on. That's already nearly 20 grams of protein. I know that people associate vegans with chickpeas. They also associate us with nutritional yeast. So I'm doing nothing for the stereotype. I'm sorry about it. This is what I love about them, is they're so versatile. So one way that I like to eat chickpeas is I'll roast them in a load of spices and I'll have them as like a crunchy little snack, which is a great alternative to crisps. And boy, do I love crisps. But another really good thing about chickpeas is there are quite a lot of recipes where if you mash them up, it provide like a good substitute for something else. For instance, in my 4 sandwiches you won't believe are vegan video, I created pretend chicken and mayo sandwiches. You can make pretend tuna. You can mash them and make like burgers out of them or little patties. They are really, really versatile. They're really nice. They're pretty good macro wise. They're a great source of protein. And I think I've said the word chickpeas about 100 times now, so I'm going to put the chickpeas away. Ingredient number 3, sriracha. So I'm kind of cheating here because I've given you 2 items and I've packaged them up as one, but no one told you that this was going to be an accurate or fair video. Sriracha, Flying Goose even, who are the people that make this, are probably one of my favourite brands. Like, I absolutely love their products, and this is the bomb. But then this came out and I just can't pick a favourite. It's like picking a favourite child. It will not be done. I cannot do it. We have 2 products. We have 2 halves of the same whole. This, great for adding to anything that you're cooking for a bit of heat. It's an easier way to add chilli and garlic without having to add chilli and garlic. Just squirt this in, it's so easy. It's also a very guilt-free kind of topping or condiment to have. Anything that you would normally have, like say ketchup or mayonnaise with, if you have this instead, you can feel a lot less guilty about it. Also, we all know that chili is great for our metabolism, and I've got a lot of time for anything that's going to speed up my metabolism. Then in comes this big boy. This I prefer when, you know, this is just a little bit too spicy. This is something I use more as like a dipping sauce. Obviously it's not quite as good for you as this one. I mean, I think you can tell that just by looking, but it's not too bad for you, and I just love that it's vegan, but it's still got that kind of like creamy, smooth taste. Number 4 is rice. If you came here for carb-free recipes, you came to the wrong place. Rice I like to always have on hand just because that's my kind of carb of choice when I'm having it with dinner. I love pasta. Pasta, it just doesn't love me. And it's taken me some time, but I have come to terms with it. So I really tried to minimise the amount I have pasta. Like, there was a time when I had it every day. Probably not good for the old diet, but there you go, that's what I did, and I don't do that now. But I have rice quite a lot, and I don't feel so guilty about it. Don't know why, I probably should, but I think it's less complex, less processed. It certainly seems to do better for me. I think it's the lack of wheat or gluten, or I don't know. Yeah, rice is nice. Item 5. It's Maggi liquid seasoning. It was either going to be this or soy sauce, but this just edges it for me. I absolutely love it. It's hard for me to describe, to be honest with you, so maybe I shouldn't have picked it, but there you go. I just love it as an alternative to soy sauce. I use it to add flavour to things that I'm cooking, but I also use it once I've cooked something. So I often, if I cook some rice, as mentioned in previous post, if I cook some rice, I often just like do a... That is not a good action to be doing on camera, is it now? We'll just pretend that did not happen. It's something I like to shake on my rice, just for a bit of flavour. It's got a bit more of an umami taste than soy. It's just got a bit more flavour to it. I don't know anyone that doesn't absolutely love it when they try it, but not everyone knows about it, so just giving you the heads up, guys. Available in most supermarkets. Product number 6. Product number 6 is Colin Amok. I really hope I said that right. It's black salt, basically. I've spoken about this in my sandwich video. I've spoken about it, I think, in my first What I Eat in a Day video. Boy, does it smell. So this is the stuff that I add to food that I want to resemble egg, in the form of a tofu scramble, trying to make scrambled eggs, or if I'm trying to make like a vegan omelette or vegan egg sandwiches. I always use a pinch of this. Now, the trick with this is don't use too much. You'll smell as soon as you open this. You can't mistake that it's some kind of egg substitute, because literally it stinks. It does stink, but you only need a pinch. It's just a big quantity of it smells if you open it up. I always have this in. As you can see, this is well loved and well used. We've had this ages and we've still got all of this left. Such a game changer. You can find this by typing black salt or Colin Amok, and Colin Amok is K-A-L-A-N-A-M-A-K, I think. Can't check. I don't think you can buy it in most supermarkets yet, but they'll catch up. Otherwise, you can buy it online. My mistake was the first time I ever bought this, I bought it on Amazon and I got like crystals of it. So I basically had to use a pestle and mortar every time I wanted to use it, which I did not have. Don't do that. Learn from my mistakes. Make sure you buy it in powdered form. You're welcome. Item number 7. Item number 7 is good old fry light. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this. I always use this. I just think it's absolutely revolutionary. As you know, I'm on a weight loss journey and I'm really trying to lose some weight for good this time. So I've been doing a lot of research and I've been learning about calorie dense foods. I'd always subscribed to the idea that 60 calories of grapes is the same as 60 calories of raisins. Not true. So 60 calories of grapes is better because there's more water in there and it's more calorie dense, so you get more grams of food per calories. Your stomach doesn't have eyes, it just wants to be full. So the more food you eat, the fuller it feels, and it helps you stay fuller for longer. Olive oil isn't a very good use of that because you don't get very much of it. It adds a lot of calories, but not very much weight. It's not gonna make me feel more full. Make sense? I hope that makes sense. I feel like I explained that quite badly. But that's why this is an absolute lifesaver, because this doesn't add any weight, so you're not wasting any calories. How much does the olive oil really add? Sometimes it's just a vehicle to cook the food, to make sure it cooks well. So use this. You don't need to have olive oil. I feel like I went all around the houses with that, but essentially this is great, especially for me because I'm not on a diet, I'm on a weight loss journey. So yeah, I recommend. They're also quite cheap and they last ages, so you know, everyone's a winner. Item number 8. They look like corn thins. They're actually a metaphor. These could be Ryvita, rice cakes, any kind of low calorie, carby vessel. I love the flavour of the corn, so that's why these are my preference, but essentially it's just a vehicle for something else. So what I find them good for is when I want like the thing that you put on toast, or you put on something carby and bad for you, but I don't want the carby bad for you thing. I just want the thing on the thing, you know? That makes sense, I'm sure it does. So, avocado on toast. I pretty much never ever have avocado on toast anymore. If I have avocado on, it's corn thins. And there was a period of my life where literally every single day I used to have breakfast at work. I would have a corn thin with an avocado rose and then some sriracha mayo, as previously featured. So you know, I like what I like. And it's absolutely delicious. So these are great. I also love to have them with hummus, with sun-dried tomatoes on top. Pretty much like any kind of vessel. Biscoff, oh my god, Biscoff. And peanut butter. I mean, now I'm literally just naming spreads, but you get my vibe. Item number 9. So as you can see, I look a bit different. My camera battery died yesterday and took ages to charge, and then it was dark. So here we are. So item number 9 is tinned coconut milk. I try to buy reduced fat. Louis really into not buying reduced fat, so there's a bit of a mix in the cupboard, but we always do have coconut milk on hand. The reason being, it's really, really great for the base for like a curry. To be honest with you, curry is one of the things that we eat the most, simply because it's a really easy dish to make that can be low carb. Whether you include rice or not is up to you. It's also really good to add to soups and smoothies. So it's really versatile, and I just love the flavour that it adds to food. And I actually am someone that used to hate coconut, but now I love it. So I always have coconut milk around. Ingredient number 10. I did tell you that I slightly cheated. All of these are store cupboard essentials, bar this last ingredient, but I couldn't not mention it because I eat so much of it. I couldn't live without it as a vegan. I mean, I could, but life would be less fun. It's tofu. Do keep this in the fridge. That's why this isn't really a store cupboard essential, but I just needed to include this. There's this one which is extra firm. There are different types, and it's good to be aware of that. This tofu I don't need to press, but I do have a tofu press. I use tofu probably most days. I just find it a really good ingredient to work with because it soaks, it's basically flavourless, so it just takes on the flavour of whatever you're cooking. One thing that I never thought I liked tofu back when I was a vegetarian, because whenever I'd had it, it was normally a Chinese takeaway and it had been like deep fried and it had gone spongy. I think we've all probably had that kind of tofu. That is not good tofu. Don't discount tofu if that's been the only experience of it you've had. Trust me, it's so versatile. There are so many different ways to cook it. I really like having like marinated tofu steaks. I like little cubed up tofu. I like tofu smashed up to make a tofu scramble. I like tofu smashed up to make an egg mayonnaise sandwich. I like silken tofu blended into a smoothie for extra protein, or silken tofu blended up to make some kind of mousse or to go in pancakes. The possibilities really are endless. I feel like I've rambled on long enough about tofu. Get some tofu in your life. Whatever you're feeling, put it down below, as long as it's nice. Please do like and subscribe. I hope to see you next week. In terms of the weight loss, I'm going to update you. The weight loss journey is still very much in play, and it's happening, and everything that I'm eating and all of these kinds of foods, all within the context of someone trying to lose quite a lot of weight. So stay tuned. Thank you for watching. I'll stop talking now. Bye. Nutritional yeast or yeast flakes. Louis is an absolute demon. Like, I have to hide these. I'm not lying to you. Inspiration has run dry. What is that? I feel like it's Natasha Bedingfield. It's not Natasha Bedingfield. It's Natalie Imbruglia. Inspiration has run dry. That's what's going on. Nothing's fine, I'm told. I'll stop. That's definitely not going in.